Hey y'all, how you doing? Okay, so I'm going to tell you what went down, which was the reason why I did the other video, watch who you do things for, because if they don't reciprocate, there's your sign that you need to no longer deal with this person, okay? So my friend had done some work for a house that he put in his daughter's name, which was a mistake. Putting it in her name was a mistake. Anyway, she claimed she was going to pay for all the work he did, and she owed him $30,000 that she never paid. So once you see that the person cannot be trusted and that they are a user, why would you give them another chance to kick you in the teeth? Because they've already kicked you in the teeth real good. He never got a dime of that money back. Okay, he invested his money in repairs for the house, and she never paid what she was supposed to pay. Me personally, I would have been done with her from that point on. I would have never spoken to her again. That would have been the end of it. And I blamed him, and I told him that. I said, I blame you for not documenting what she paid. He has no organizational skills. He's lucky to tie his shoes correctly. So you have somebody else document for you. Since you don't know how to document, you have somebody else document it. This was paid. This is the date it was paid. This is the amount it was paid. You know, you document everything. I don't care if it's family or not. I don't care if it's family or not. You make sure you document, because family could jack you just like anybody else could jack you. Okay? You gotta be smart. When it comes to money, people will get over. They would try to get over. It doesn't matter if it's family or not. They need money too. So if they know that you're a sucker, they know that when they see you coming to help them out, that they're going to get a whole free, all of that. Everything's going to be free. So what happened was, whenever his mom died, his daughter got the car. And she had a lot of problems with it, or the transmission went out, or whatever it was. She had issues with it. Well, long story short, you remember the history behind, she owed him all that money and never paid him a dime, which is his fault. He didn't document. Nothing was in writing or anything like that. It could be handwritten. It don't matter. It just needs to be documented. And he had no documentation. When you have no documentation of anything, you have no legal leg to stand on should you need to take them to court, because you have to have text messages, you have to have documentation, a promissory note, or whatever, and you think because it's family, they're not going to take advantage of you, and that's where you're dead wrong. They could. Especially someone who's grandiose and entitled, like a narcissist. So I really liked the car that she had, and my friend was going to fix it. She had two other cars. She also has two homes. She's only in her 30s. People work a lifetime, and they're lucky to buy one home. She's got two homes and three cars. So I was supposed to get the car. It never panned out because he yelled at her kids at one point, and so she used that to run all the way across the football field with. She became unhinged. There's no other nice way to put it. She became unhinged, and I'll file police reports on him, and you don't treat my kids any kind of way, and you don't do this and that, and I don't want you on my property, and and don't come near me and my kids, you're a threat. She was acting like he was Son of Sam or Ted Bundy when it came to her kids. And so found out the reason why that was such a massive big deal, and why she dragged it from last week into this week, and I'll tell you why she did that. I'm going to take that fight and I'm going to regurgitate it, and I'm going to bring it into this week. Even though it's not an issue this week, I'm going to bring it into this week because she didn't want to give up the title to the car. Now, I put money into the car, my friend put money into the car, and she decided You ain't gonna be near my kids, and I'll do this and that and the other, and I'm gonna threaten you with da 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 da, and I'm gonna call the cops and have you removed off my property. You're a danger to myself and my kids. But when she needs something, he's the perfect person to rely on, because no matter what you do to him, he rolls over and plays dead and does what you need done. So it got worse. He was sleeping in the camper so he could give them their privacy and stay away from them. And she took the power cord, his power cord, by the way. She stole his power cord because she wanted him to be in the camper with no power. Mind you, we're in a heat wave. So this goes way beyond the car issue. This is a power play. He also has some of his belongings on her property, because I don't know why he did that, because you know she can't be trusted. But she literally went unhinged and was acting basically like a psychopath. And the way she was so irrational, and I told him she needs to go in the psych ward, because she's supposedly on medication, but the medications aren't working because she's losing her shit. So we both put money into the car. He did a lot of repairs, heavy work in the hot. This summer's been brutal. Now, when you know this person has a history of not being trusted because they stiffed you on $30,000, you have to legally protect yourself. And you make her put in a written agreement. When he does such and such, I will release the title. And then whenever you both sign it, and then when that doesn't happen, then you just halt the mission, because you want it in writing, just in case this person decides they want to get a power play again, right? He did not. And I thought that he had the title. He not only didn't have the title and did all the work in the car, but he's not getting the car either. So she basically got free parts. Her car got repaired for free. Because it's still technically her, she's got the title. Okay? So, but she got karma, and I'm happy about that. I'm really happy. She lied and said, he ain't never did nothing for me, which is the biggest lie, bigger than the state of Texas. He's always rescued her ass. Always rescued her ass. But when a person is a narc, they have amnesia. Like I said in the other video, they have amnesia. You have never, ever, ever a day in your life did nothing for them. And you know that's a lie. You know that. They know that too, but it sounds good. It sounds like a good justification for being hateful and nasty. So then he's got to go back and get the car out of the shop and tow it to her house, because he doesn't have the original key, and she lied and said she gave him the original key. She does not have he doesn't have the original key. He does have Buick keys, but they're not keys for the ignition. So I do believe she not only kept the original key and gave him a key that doesn't work on purpose, but she also said, I'm not going to I'm not releasing the title until you repair the lawnmower. There's nothing wrong with the lawnmower. If you get off of it while you're operating it, it automatically shuts off for safety reasons. And she kept saying it was broken, it was broken, it was broke. And she was very arrogant about it. She was very hateful. She was very nasty. And it was low on gas. If it doesn't have gas in it, it's not going to run. So they put gas in it. He checked it. My friend checked it, because that was the so-called agreement. You repair the lawnmower, and then I'll release the title to you. You didn't bother fixing it. Well, he looked it over, and it was one button you had to push or something. Put gas in it. It runs fine. And he had one of the kids start it, turn it off, start it, turn it off, repeatedly, and it did perfectly fine. So there's nothing wrong with it. So if you think for 2 minutes that she's going to release the title, she is not. She got free repairs on her car, which was her plan the whole time. This is what I mean when I say you cannot trust people just because they're family. You make them put this in writing. I will do da 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 on this date, da 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 da, signed, this date thereof, da 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 da. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. That's what I learned when I was in EMT school. They drilled it, literally drilled it in our head, that if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. Because all of those papers that we would, the reports that we would submit are all legal papers. So if for some reason a person needed to go, patient needed to go to court, they have to have documentation of everything. And you need documentation as an EMT, as a paramedic, as a doctor, as a nurse, whatever. You need documentation too to cover your behind legally. So everything has to be documented. Well, if he knew, I don't know why he thought she was incapable of doing what she's doing now, because she was hateful in the past, so why wouldn't she be hateful now? And then he told me that she I don't remember. I just lost my train of thought for a second. But anyway, all of this was part of her plan. She's regurgitating the argument from last week when she realized that she looked ridiculous when it came to the lawnmower because there ain't a goddamn thing wrong with it. Then she decided, because she's trying to justify keeping the title. So what she did was she regurgitated, like I said, the argument from last week and shoved it into this week as if it just happened. And I will have him removed from my house. I will call the cops on him. I will force him to remove his machines from my house. And I don't give a damn, and blah this and blah that. And that's the second time she took the power cord from the camper, which that's his power cord, and she basically stole it. So if you can't sleep at night because you have no air conditioning, you don't have a fan, you don't have, you can't plug in your CPAP machine, which is what you wear if you have sleep apnea. It operates on electricity. She took the cord so that he can't sleep at night. And he has no air conditioning, and we're in a heat wave, heat index up to 114 degrees, and she doesn't give a shit. When she goes brutal, there's no limit to how far she's going to go with the brutality. And I had already told her I had to come to Jesus meeting with him about him going off with the kids, because he can be overbearing and he can be controlling. So I said, don't be going over there acting like you're their boss. Don't. So he toned it down. He wasn't happy about it, but he toned it down, because she don't discipline her kids. She don't discipline her kids at all. She wants to report him, and she wants to do this and that and get him in trouble for all these different things, but she's not a good mother. She allowed her 15-year-old child to already have sex, and she encouraged it. He's a minor. So on one hand, he's just a child, and you don't talk to children like that. But he's not too much of a child to have sex with somebody. And she gave him a condom and encouraged it. He's only 15. Okay? She lets them run in and out of the house all hours of the night. She don't care if they're running the streets. She doesn't care. She doesn't cook meals for them unless she feels like it, and she rarely feels like it. They could have medical problems because she doesn't have water in the house. Well, karma bit her on the ass last night, and it bit her hard. It bit her violently. And I'm happy about it. Because when you're a snake, I'm not going to have any tenderness towards you, and my heart's not going to be soft for you. Once you show who the hell you truly are, every feeling I've ever had for you is gone. So what the stunt that she has pulled this time is permanent. I blocked her on my phone because she's justifying, basically, he said that every time she gets power, she does this. Every time she gets power, she does this. And she's helped a felon. This guy is a friend of hers. She thinks the world of him, even though he is serving time for felony possession of drugs, felony possession of a scale and a weapon. Those bring felony charges. And she deliberately took out a $6,000 loan for him. She owed a $2,000 veterinary bill, and she took out a loan for $6,000 to give to a drug dealer. And if that girl's mother finds out, parents find out that her son has sex with their daughter, they can bring charges on her, which needs to happen, because you're not smart enough to realize that children should not be doing that. Okay? Should you want to act like your Mother Teresa and you've never done anything wrong? I know some of the dirt you've done. So anyway, Karma bit her on the ass last night, and her house is flooding. They had to turn the main water off. So the kids started school today, and they had to turn the water off to the house because the water was leaking and flooding the house. That's what you get. And I told him, don't you dare touch anything in that house. I said, you buy them life jackets and they can swim through the house. Since you want to play games and you want to be evil. Okay? You want to be hateful. So, you know, I was kind of laughing because I didn't know Karma would hit that fast, but boy, did it. And she has 2 cars that need to be repaired. She's not going to get them repaired through him because he was a rollover for you. He's not going to be a rollover anymore. Once a person crosses a certain line, they are no longer your family member. They are no longer your mother or your father. They are a demon, and you need to cut ties with them forever because they have used you and used you and used you and used you. And it's done now. So she's going to have to pay a lot of money to have somebody fix whatever's wrong in the house. Good for you. Good for you. So, anyway, wow. Wow. You take care. Y'all take care. Love you. Bye.